Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of Nursing with Ingrid. Thank you so very much for stopping by yet once again and sharing space with me. I absolutely appreciate it. I also want to say thank you very much to all my new subscribers. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the family. At this point, if you haven't subscribed, please do subscribe. Please like the videos. Please share the videos to whoever you feel may need this information at any time. Please do that. It's all free and it helps the channel a whole lot. So today we're going to be talking about financial matters or money matters for that case. Okay, to start off with, let me just put out a disclaimer out there. I'm not a financial advisor. I have not studied economics or any of those things. All the information or all the strategies that I'm going to discuss today are purely based on my experience and what I have done in order to be financially stable and to sustain my lifestyle. So take it if you want to, if you can, if you are willing to, please, it's okay. But please know that I'm not a financial advisor. Also, at this point, it might sound a little insensitive to talk about finances and money and a debt at this point in time in 2020, when the unemployment rate is just so high at the moment. We've gone from a 28% unemployment rate to up to, at the moment, I think it's about 43, don't quote me, it's about 43% of South African citizens that are unemployed at the moment. I am one of them. So please just take this from where it's coming from. It might come off insensitive, but it actually isn't. These are the conversations that we really do need to have as South African citizens, as human beings, and just as people that just want to move on with life and live the most healthiest financial life possible. I'll be breaking this video into 3 parts, and that is just so that you can get an idea of how to start restructuring or revisiting your financial situation. And also we need to remember that when it comes to finances and money and spending and life in general, we are generally taught how to live life, how to handle money, how to look at money from our parents. And it's very important for us that are parents at the moment to send out the right message regarding money as early as possible in our children's lives, so they don't end up in debt or they don't end up spending money unnecessarily or not being mindful of the money that they do have. So the first thing to look out for, in my opinion, is the fact that you need to know what your financial goals are. This is when you are starting a job or when you are in a job. The earlier you decide what your financial goals are, the easier it is for you to realize them much sooner than most of us older generations and just the general public. When you're looking at your financial goals, you need to look at the things that you are going to spend your money on, and these are your necessities. And where do you see yourself in 5 years' time with regards to your finances? Where do you see yourself in 10 years' time, 15 years' time, 20 years' time, up to the time that you retire? So when you're looking at your financial goals, you've got to take them in that way. You've got to look at them in that way. In the next 5 years, I want to achieve da 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 da, and it has to be realistic as well. Otherwise, you're going to be discouraged, you're going to be disheartened, and you're just going to spend your money blindly, basically. So when we are talking about the financial goals, like I said, in 5 years, do you want to own a home? If your answer is yes, what home are you looking at? What can you afford with the income that you currently have? You look at that. I would generally advise that if you're going to rent a property, you are paying somebody else to pay their bond. Whereas if you buy your own property, eventually you will own that property because it is yours. And property, as we know, it fluctuates here and there. It depends on who speaks about property, but property is something very valuable to have as part of your financial portfolio. Another thing that we need to look at as well is when you are going to buy a vehicle. if you are planning on buying a vehicle. Now, this is a very sensitive and it's a very tricky situation, because we all need transportation. That is a fact, right? If you can take public transport, well and good. If you're comfortable doing that, well and good. But if it's going to take you like 3 modes of transport to get to where you need to go, then it's possible that you need to look at buying a vehicle. And when you do buy a vehicle, please, we can't compare each other. I always say this, don't compare yourself to anybody else. You look at what you have. You look at what you can afford. And with what you can afford, you need to be comfortable with that. And if you stay consistent with your financial planning, with your savings, with your goals and your long-term plan, you will be comfortable with whatever car you buy for the meantime. Eventually you will get to that point where you are now, you can afford the car of your dreams. But please, let's not be unrealistic with what we can and cannot buy, what we can and cannot afford. Because when it comes to vehicles, that is a dangerous place to be. Why is it a dangerous place to be? Because invariably, sometimes, it's happened to me, so I can talk about it. Sometimes you go in, you like a car, you need a car, you like a car, you get finance and you are supposed to put a deposit, or they give you the option of 0 deposit and you're paying it over 72 months with the balloon payment at the end. That is just basically setting yourself up for disaster, because you think that you are saving now, but invariably when that term is over, that last installment includes your balloon payment. So that is also, tread very carefully, get more information, see how you can afford a vehicle without incurring more and more and more and more debt in the long run, whereas you thought that you were saving in the beginning. Another thing when it comes to buying a vehicle, when you do decide to buy a vehicle, please, please, please make sure that you are able to maintain the vehicle. Make sure that you've got enough money if something breaks. Make sure that you have a decent insurance to cover your vehicle in the unfortunate event that you do end up in an accident and your car needs repairs. So those are also the things that you need to look at when you are buying a vehicle. The same applies if you are going to buy property. You need to have your property insured. You need to have your household contents also insured, because life happens. Life does happen, and if you don't have those safety nets, then it becomes a problem. It becomes a little bit more difficult. You cannot fix your car, you cannot fix your home. So take those things also into consideration. You need to have an insurance. And with your insurance, it needs to have third-party insurance within it, so that if you are at fault, your insurance company will pay for the other person's vehicle for repairs. Another thing when it comes to your financial goals that you set for yourself is you need to be able to save. Regardless of how much you earn, you need to save. And I say this because people think that you can save when you're earning more than 20,000 rands a month. That is not true. You can save when you are earning 1,000 rands a month, 10,000 rands a month. Okay, so but make sure that savings are part of your goal, and that is money for a rainy day. Should anything happen and you need access to finances, that is your go-to place. So also be realistic with that. Make sure that you get yourself a nice, decent retirement annuity plan. And I'm going to go further down the line. I'm going to speak about insurance policies and things like that. But just make sure that you have some savings for your retirement as well. Regardless of whether your company that you work for has a pension fund or has a provident fund, it is very advisable for you to have a retirement annuity as well. And make sure that we need to start being a nation or a community that saves more than we spend. spend, or save equally as much as we spend, because that is where we're going to end up being financially free, financially secure. And people don't tell you all these things when you are younger and you're still finding your feet and you want to be out there and you want to be like your colleagues, you want to be like your friends.